Hey everybody, thank you so much for signing on today for ProX online recreational events. It's been such a fun few months with you guys logging in, watching all of our videos. We really appreciate all the support. And just to let you know that we are still having excuse my phone, I forgot to unplug it. We are going to have our walkathon, as you know, virtual July 19th. You can still register to be a walk team captain. And an additional thing we're doing now is a drive-by walk event. So if you're already in a walk team captain, you're going to get an email or go to our Facebook page. There's a link to register for this drive-by event. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a DJ, costume characters, games, prizes. So make sure you don't miss out on that. It's the same day, July 19th. It's on a Sunday. You can't make it. That's okay. Just keep on helping us and enjoy the virtual walk. And if you missed last time that Danny came on from New Jersey, it's on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that at POAC Autism Services. So let's get this fun time rolling. I'm so excited to see all of Danny's creatures, and I'm going to try not to be too scared, but I'm going to be brave for everyone. Don't worry, I will be okay.
That's two of us, hopefully. We'll see.
Take it away.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, my friends. I'm really happy to be here to see all of you. Hi, Connor. Once again, before we start, I want to remind you guys, please make sure you ask your questions in the chat. I will definitely help you out along the way. If you have any questions or if I didn't say something that was too clear, that wasn't very clear, let me know, okay? I have some really fun animals for you today and a little bit of a personal challenge. There are not many animals that Mr. Danny is nervous around, except for one. And I brought one for you today. So we'll see what happens. But I do have some really cool creatures today. I think we're going to work on some of the fun leggy stuff. I had this one little guy here to show you, but he's not really working out right now. I think he's a little scared. But I have, if anyone knows what this is, let's see, hold on. Can anyone see what's in there? Do you see that? There is a little blue claw in there. Hello. Right there, there's a little blue claw, and he's blocking off the entrance to this shell. Does anyone have any idea what might be living in here? Let me see if I can get him to come out. Hey, the elms. Hi, guys. Look at our little friend here. I'm going to see if I can get him to come out. Sometimes if you twist him around a little bit, they come out a little more. He's not going to cooperate. But this is, I watch if I put my finger, because I almost put it in there, and that would be bad, a hermit crab. If you guessed hermit crab, good job. This is a very cool little crab from the southern part of the United States, from the Caribbean. They live in all these really wonderful tropical islands. They're really popular as pets. So these crabs, they're really interesting because this is not his shell. This is a shell that he took over. At one time, this was probably a snail, a large snail, and the snail died. And the crab then took over the snail shell. And as the crab grows, he moves out of the old shell and then tries to find an even bigger shell and bigger, and so on and so on as the crab gets bigger. Now, they don't get really huge. The biggest ones I've seen are about the size of like a tennis ball. So they don't get really huge, but they're really fun. And if you see them, they offer them for pets. Sometimes I'm really not going to recommend them as pets because unfortunately they don't do very well for a long time. As a matter of fact, this one was given to us because someone bought it as a pet and then they decided they didn't want to keep it anymore, so it was given to us. And we're trying to make them as comfortable as we can, but it's very hard because these animals live near the ocean, near the seas, and they require salt water and fresh water so that they can drink because they can't drink with salt water. And these crabs live on the land. They don't really enter the water too often, so they like to hang out right on the shoreline and soak themselves. They have gills that they keep really wet all the time, and that's how they're able to breathe on land. But believe it or not, their gills are kind of weird. They're not like other crab gills, and if they stayed underwater too long, they would actually drown. So let me see if I'm going to try one last time to see if we can get him out, and then I promise we'll move to some more exciting stuff. I just wanted to show him off because he's really cute. And that claw there, he has one really big claw. There it is. And he uses that to block the entrance to the shell. And if I were to stick my finger in there, he'd be like, chomp. And it's really strong. You see how chunky that claw is? They do not let go. It is not fun. I've had one clamp onto my finger, and I was not happy about that. So yeah, but let's move on. Before we move into some of the leggy, creepy things, I want to show you some really exciting jungle animals that a lot of times we don't get to see. One you'll probably recognize, and the other you won't. But let's do the one that you won't recognize. first because this is a really cool creature. I'm right here, he's waiting very patiently to meet you. I want to keep him nice and calm so he doesn't get nervous. This isn't he beautiful? That is, let me see if I can get the camera to focus on you better. There we go. That is a fire skink. It's called a fire skink, and it's a beautiful little lizard from the rainforest of Africa. They come from Tanzania and Kenya, and they also are often sold in the pet shops, and they're absolutely beautiful, beautiful creatures, right? Doesn't it look like that's almost painted on? Hey, JJ, it looks like that's painted on. They're just absolutely gorgeous, and I wanted to show it to you because it's a really fun animal. Now, they belong to a really special family of lizards called skinks, and skinks are really special because they, most skinks are moving towards living underground. So that means that they have really short, stubby legs. You see, his legs are actually kind of short compared to most lizards. Let me see if I can show you this way. There's one hanging on me there. Their legs are pretty short compared to most lizards. And in this one, they're actually long in this species, but there are some skinks that have tiny, tiny legs that you can barely see, right? And so the reason for that is that they spend a lot of time underground. Now, this kind of lizard spends most of its time living in the rainforest leaf litter. And that's basically a layer of leaves. It's really thick sometimes. It can be over a foot thick because there's so many trees in the rainforests, right? So they live in this layer of leaves, and they hunt small insects there. And if they need to come up and warm up, they will come up to the top of the leaf layer or sit up on top of the leaves and find a patch of sunlight, and then they'll get to the temperature they want to get. And then if they need to cool between all the layers of the leaves, and they hunt all kinds of insects, basically anything they can capture and kill. But they are beautiful. I love it because this is such a gorgeous lizard, and so many people don't know about them. And you can see he's kind of doing what snakes do, is he tastes the air. Look at that face. He tastes the air a little bit, and that's how you can figure out what's going on. Hey, that's you. Do you see yourself there? I think he sees himself in the camera. I'm trying to get him an angle where I can show him to you. I don't want him to dart off because he's really fast if he wants to run away. I mean, generally he's pretty cool, but there, that's cool, right? Isn't he beautiful? Oh, yeah, look at that. The colors on him are amazing. They're so bright. And you can see he's got pretty small eyes too, and that helps when they're digging around that stuff doesn't get into it. He's got eyelids, and sometimes I'm getting bent a little bit. Yeah, that's my finger, hi. See, he's licking my finger. That's how he smells things, just like a snake does. They can sense things. They can sense things using the sense of smell. And that's usually how they hunt because they can't really see that well in the leaf litter all the time either. But he's so cool. I love these guys. All right, let's move on to some fun stuff. Not that she's not fun, not that you're not fun. You're very fun, I promise. And you're beautiful, right? Isn't he beautiful? All right, we're going to put him away. I'm apologizing to the lizard. Sorry. I do things like that sometimes. You guys still love me, right? Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay. This next animal, it's really cool. This is an animal. Hey, Connor Jacob. This is an animal that when you see it right away, you say tropical rainforest. And some people don't even know that this is a real animal. Some people don't even know that this is a real creature. So I'm going to show you this. It's rather fun. All right. I think he's waking up a little bit now. Doesn't matter. We're going to wake him up anyway, just to look at him. He'll forgive us. She'll forgive us. It's a girl. I'm going to get the top open of the cage so I can show her to move really quick before she fully wakes up. But can you see that green blob right there? So if you were walking in a rainforest, that little green blob would be stuck on a leaf, and chances are you would not notice it because it would be so well camouflaged, right? Now, it's not camouflaged here because number one, I've got it in a really shiny tank so that you guys can see what it looks like. And number two, we have a dark background behind me, which helps to show off this animal. So there's a reason for that. But if we were walking in the rainforest, chances are you wouldn't see this animal, right? Now, I want everyone to pay close attention, okay? I want you to look closely at this animal and remember this. Remember what it looks like right now, okay? Remember what it looks like right now. Take a picture with your mind. Okay. Now, watch what happens when I wake it up. I'm gonna have to put the tank down and I'm gonna wake it up and then I'll show you on camera. But I promise you I'm not switching out the animal. It's the same animal. I'll put it over here so you can see. It's the same animal. Oh, can you see? Sort of. Okay, here we go. Come on, wake up. Oh, it's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. Come on, wake up. Oh, here we go. This is very fidgety. Very fidgety and jumpy. Okay, are you ready? Oh, it's a jumper. And that's what they do. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I'll get closer, but can you see that? Look at those colors. Is that unreal? Well, it's not. It's real. It's very real. You can see he's turning his head. He's moving his little foot. This is a red-eyed tree frog. And this animal is amazing. One of my favorite creatures in the rainforest. They're so beautiful. They look like they're painted. They have those orange legs, those bright blue arms, those amazingly unreal red eyes. I mean, I wish I could focus better to show you that, but they have these unreal. There we go. Oh, maybe we might get good focus on close. Oh, he's closing them a little bit there. That's cool. You got to see how they close their eyes. But yeah, they are real. They're real creatures. And this is a wonderful example of a rainforest creature. I'm going to back up a little bit so I can come back into focus. Just so I can hopefully catch it if it runs away. So these creatures are fascinating. They spend most of their day camouflaging on the trees, right? You do, in the trees on the rainforest. Oh, don't jump because then you'd land right on my face. And that would be embarrassing. So they spend most of their time here staring at me. Stop, you're making me nervous. They have these really big eyes and they stare. Go to sleep. Oh, look at the camera. Oh, there you go. That's better. So I do both. So they have these really big red eyes that they use for hunting at night. And it helps them a lot because what they'll do is they jump really far. I mean, this frog can jump like 4 or 5 feet. That's why I'm talking about you. Like 4 or 5 feet. Oh, I think he's going to jump. If he jumps, I'll try to catch him. They jump like 4 or 5 feet. Oh, he just landed on my computer screen. I wish you could see it. It looks cool. I think if I showed you, it'd be very like hard to. Oh, there he goes. He's jumping again. But they spend most of their time doing just that. They run and they jump on the canopy. He's going to jump right. Okay, I'm going to go there. The camera again. They spend most of their time hanging out on the canopies of the rainforest. And I'm going to put him back really quick because he's getting a little nervous. I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt, but take one last look. Fascinating, right? Okay, let's put him back into his tank because I don't want her. I keep saying him. I don't want her to get nervous. Now, really important things. A couple really important things about them. They do spend most of their time hunting in the rainforest, right? That means they only live in the rainforest. So guess what happens when the rainforests get chopped down? They have no more homes. So once again, this is why it's really important that we learn about these lands and try to do our best to preserve these lands, the home where these animals live, because they live nowhere else in the world. And remember, we talked a little bit before about how important frogs are. If you watched some of the I think it was the first show we did this year with you guys, we had some frogs and toads, and we talked about how important they are to the environment because they can absorb water through their bodies, how they drink water. And the same is true for these animals. So actually, before I started, I had to go rinse my hands really well underwater to make sure that I didn't have any kind of hand sanitizer or any kind of lotion on my hands because they are really sensitive to any kinds of chemicals. And so they do not survive well in a polluted place. And so even when I'm dealing with it, right before we started, I rinsed my hands for a good few minutes with no soap, just water to get all the oils off my hand, like all the sweat off my hand, because that has salt and they don't like that too often. Plus any hand sanitizer, because we've all been using hand sanitizer and washing our hands a lot more than normal with soap lately. So I have to be really careful with an animal like that. But I'm so glad I got to show it to you. She's going right back to sleep now, which is good. And that's just a really fascinating creature. All right, let's move on to some leggy things. More leggy things, leggier things. This is a fun one. This is an animal that a lot of people are scared of or hear stories about. This is not the animal that I was telling you earlier about that I'm worried about. I actually really like these animals that I'm about to show you a lot. They're one of my favorite creatures. Like I have so many, right? They're one of my favorite creatures because I find them fascinating. And I'll tell you like the whole boring story if you want to hear it. But I'm going to give you a little bit of natural history on it. But first, let me see if I can show to you where it is. I think a lot of layer computer screen stuff probably won't work. I'll figure something out to show you. So can you see there? Right there. What's that look like? That is a scorpion. Let's see if we can get him out a little bit here. I think I can get it to come out on like a piece of paper and show you guys a little better what it would look like. A few things about this scorpion. This scorpion is not deadly. Come on, buddy. It is not a really deadly type of scorpion. I'm going to try once to get it on this little platform here, and so I can show it to you better. And if it doesn't work, I don't want to agitate him too much. This is a species that actually, this type of scorpion occurs right here in the United States. They occur right in Arizona. Come on, buddy. Come on. We're going to hang out. We're going to be friends and show everybody something really cool. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to be patient with the animal because I try very hard not to get any of our animals nervous or scared so that they don't feel like they have anything to worry about, because we want them to be happy to show off for you. And especially when you're dealing with a venomous animal, you do not want to play around. All right, I almost got him. There we go, I got him. Okay. So, hey, buddy. Oh, lordy. Okay. Hey. Hi. This is a scorpion. Oh, that was my finger. Hello. I'm going to keep your cage nearby because I don't want you falling. I'll put you on my computer if I have to. Yeah, this is a scorpion, and it's getting really close to my finger, so this session might not last too long. But I want you to see that they are really cool creatures. This is a scorpion from Arizona. It'll probably help if I do this. This is a scorpion that lives in Arizona. This is called a desert hairy scorpion. They are venomous. You can see that. Yeah, right there. You can see that venomous stinger right there. I don't want to fall. If I feel it's going to fall, I'm going to put it on my computer. He does have the venomous stinger and those claws right there. Go back up, buddy. We'll fall. Back up. There we go. And they are fascinating. He's got those long claws that help him to capture his prey, and he insists on jumping. He wants to go on my computer because I think he likes the warmth. He senses the warmth. Acrobatic scorpion. Don't fall. Here we go. Don't fall, buddy. Hang on tight. There we go. Spider scorpion. Spider scorpion. Yeah, they are related to spiders, actually. They are in the same family. They are called arachnids. And so, yeah, this is an arachnid, type of arachnid, and it's a very famous one. So they're famous because of that venomous stinger that they've got, which you can see curled up right above his body. The stinger is used as a defense, and it's also used to overpower, to challenge animals that are way bigger than it. So if it, for instance, comes across a large type of, that's my finger, a large cricket, or another scorpion even, or a spider, it can use that stinger and deliver a venomous sting with that stinger. Usually the good rule of thumb is that the bigger their claws are, the less dangerous they are. And so I showed you last time, I think I showed you guys an emperor scorpion, which is a really big black one. That animal is less dangerous than this one. This one's not really, and it wouldn't kill me if it stung me, but it would be painful, like a bee sting or a wasp sting, and I don't really like that. That's why I'm shaking a little bit. It's just me. Don't worry. But yeah, they're really cool. And you can see I'm kind of like, I'm doing a lot with him right now, and he's not being aggressive. He's just trying to figure out what's going on. I'm holding this on that, depending on my hand so much. So he's not being aggressive. He's not being mean. He's just trying to figure out what's going on. He wants to get back into his cage where he recognizes the soil and everything under his feet. He's not sure what the slippery, plasticky thing is that he's on right now. He's like, I want off. But they're not bad. They're not evil creatures. They're not. They're just they're not trying to attack you. They're not trying to be mean to you. Most times when people are stung, it's because they're doing stuff like this and holding them or trying to touch them, or they don't realize they're there. Scorpions, I have to say, are very good. And this. I always thought this was a story until it happened to me. It happened to me with two different animals. One of them was a scorpion. But when I went camping in a desert one time, I forgot. And some people had told me, make sure you shake out your shoes before you put them on. And I forgot, and I didn't do that. And I felt something in my shoe, and sure enough, it was a scorpion. And it got in my shoe, and I put my foot in there, and unfortunately I squished it with my foot before it would sting me. Unfortunately, but I was upset because I like scorpions, and I was sad that it died. But it happens, so it does happen, and that's where most people have a problem with them. That's where most people get stung. Is they get into your homes. If you live in Arizona, these often show up at people's homes, and they'll end up getting stung because they don't realize that the animal is there. That's almost always how it happens. So scorpions are not evil by any stretch of the means. They're just misunderstood in a way, right? Great. And remember, if you guys have any questions about the scorpions, let me know. I can't really show you right now because it's too bright. We need the lighting. But another thing that's really fun about scorpions is that if you use a black light, which is a UV light, it looks very purple. Sometimes people use them around Halloween a lot. If you use a black light, they glow really bright greenish yellow. It's really cool. Oh, moving my finger. they glow this bright yellow color. I mean, bright purple. Wait, it's green. Sorry, I'm confusing my colors. They hit this bright green color. I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna put him back because I don't want to get too nervous now. He's definitely moving around more and more. But that's how you can find scorpions at night. You can find them at night because they glow neon green when you put a black light on them, which is pretty fascinating. Now, I'm going to tell you something really cool about scorpions. The reason I like them so much is if you are a fan of prehistoric creatures like me, of course, dinosaurs and all kinds of other really cool creatures. Back in the time of dinosaurs, scorpions were still around and they looked pretty much like this, not too much different. And we know this because we've found a lot of different fossils that show scorpions being around at the same time as dinosaurs. Now, the main difference, actually, there's two main differences. The one main difference is that they were mostly aquatic, which means they lived in the ocean, just like crabs and lobsters. They later on made the move to land, moving my fingers. They later on made the move to land. But they were living in the ocean first for a long time before they moved up to land. So that was really fascinating to me. This is an animal that once lived in the oceans and now it's fully up on land, just like the hermit crab that I showed you, right? They are able to just do something special that allows them to spend more time up on the surface. So they moved up onto land, and when they moved on land, something happened to their bodies. They, believe it or not, shrunk because scorpions in the ocean, the one fossil that we know of, the biggest one we found, is almost 9 feet long. Now, imagine if scorpions were 9 feet long. We would be in trouble. In fact, we would probably be on the menu because scorpions will eat anything and anything they can capture and overpower with that venomous tail, that venomous sting. So I can imagine a 9-foot scorpion. That is like some horror movie type stuff, right? They were talking some crazy, crazy creatures. Not something you're going to want to run into at all. All right, I'm going to put him back. Good job. He's really good at hanging on to stuff. I underestimate him sometimes. All right. All right. That was good. I was able to show you the scorpion, and I'm still here, and I can show you another creature. But yeah, I love the fact that scorpions were these giant beasts at one time. We're really lucky, in fact, that a lot of the animals that are around now are on the smaller side. Because if some of these creatures were as big as they used to be, especially in prehistoric times, we would be in a lot of trouble. And this next animal is one of those animals specifically that is troubling. So first of all, let's all say thank you, nature, for not making this animal 9 or 10 feet long, because we would definitely be in trouble. There are very, very few animals. Now, Mr. Danny, I've been working as a zookeeper and zoologist for a long, long time. And I've worked everywhere with a lot of really cool creatures, everything from lions and tigers and bears, oh my, to Komodo dragons, reptiles of every kind, venomous snakes, everything. I've been really lucky to work with some of the most amazing creatures. And I'm usually never nervous or feeling fidgety around an animal, because I learned to try to read an animal. I try to see how the animal is showing its body. How's it standing? Is it nervous? Is it scared? Is it backed up? Is it coming after you aggressively? Is it moving towards me? There's all these different ways that you can read an animal. This animal, it's like a book in the dark. You cannot read what this animal is going to do. You never know what this animal is going to do. It is venomous. It is grabby. It eats creatures several times larger than itself. Are you getting nervous yet? I'm just trying to work myself up here to show you this next creature. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to show you some nightmare fuel. Now, it's okay. You don't have to be scared. We'll be fine. We'll be very safe about it. And I'm probably only going to show this to you for a few seconds, and then we'll talk about it, because I'm not going to try to talk about it and show it to you at the same time. I cannot focus on that. I'll just be like, blah, 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 and this thing will run up my arm, and you'll hear a very loud shriek, scream, and that will be Mr. Danny, okay? So, all right, here we go. And the worst part is I don't even know where it is. Yes, not fun. All right, let's see what I can do here. I'm gonna clear a space on the floor here in front of me. Okay, and I'm going to bring the camera over shortly. It's sleeping. It's sleeping. I can show it to you. Oh, it's not sleeping. Right here on the keyboard. It's asleep right now still. It's starting to wake up. If it wakes up, I have to slam this lid down because I don't want it to wake up. This is a creepy animal. Okay, here we go. Do you see it yet? I'm shaking. Wait. Do you see it? Look at it. That, my friend, is a giant centipede. This creature is about 9 or 10 inches long. Now think about that on a ruler, okay? Think about how big that is. They are really venomous. They have the antenna. You're looking at his back end. That's his back end right there. Those two long things. That's actually his back end. His front end is over there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my computer to not show up in the glare. There. His front. There's his head right there. Now his head has these two antennae. Oh my God, he's so creepy. They have these two antennae that can smell the air really, really well. So I have to be careful not even to talk too loud because he'll know I'm here. I can like smell like the coffee. Like, oh, he's moving his antenna. He is asleep right now. And the reason I know it's asleep is when they wake up, they just move. They run. This is a giant purple centipede, and they travel constantly all day and usually at night more. They wait for the day to cool down, and when it's cooled, they wake up and they start hunting. Now they have all of these legs. Look at that body. They've got all these legs. Centipede literally means 100 legs. They don't have 100 legs. I think it has like 40 or 50 pairs. I'm not sure about that, but I'm not counting them. You count them. And they use those legs to run really fast, and they overpower their food quickly, really quickly with those legs. What they do is they just grab on like Velcro. Can you imagine like a Velcro strip? Like, you know the Velcro, some of you might have them on your shoes or on backpacks or other clothing, right? Just imagine Velcro, that clingy. That's what they do. They cling on. I'm going to see if I can click this camera on the computer screen so I can get a better shot. Can you just work with me 1 second, guys? There we go. Okay, perfect. That's way better. So imagine, right? They chase you down really fast with those really quick moving legs. And then they can smell you. They can track you down like a bloodhound because those antennae are amazing. Oh, Lordy, he's moving. Those antennae are amazing at picking up scent. And pick the scent, like let's say a mouse that crossed its path, they could just sniff the trail of the mouse out and follow the mouse until they eventually catch up with it. It might be sleeping, it might be resting, whatever. They eventually catch up with that mouse, and they he's waking up, and they overpower it. And they'll grab it with those legs in the front of their body. If you look, you might be able to see it on his head. But look, he's sleeping. He's dreaming. You see his little dreamy legs. This is kind of what makes him cute. I have to say they're really scary, but at the same time, look, he's dreaming, guys. Like, it's so cute, right? He's having dreams. We'll wake him up in a second, and then you'll see why he's not so dreamy. But so they have these pincers, these claws in front of their face, and they are venomous. They have a venomous bite, and then behind that, they have a mouth that is really powerful and clamps hard. So they not only bite you with a pincer that are venomous, and at that point you feel like your hand is on fire. This is from a friend of mine who had experienced this. You feel like your hand is on fire, and then they grab onto you with all those legs. They don't let go. It's not like a worm or a snake that you can kind of like push away or push off. They just, it's so scary. All right, let's do this. Let's tour. Oh, Lord. Okay, all right. Mr. Danny's getting up the courage. Let's wake him up. So when he wakes up, this thing is going to take off. Like, it is going to fly. And I'm going to probably have to slam the lid down fairly quick because I do not want it to move up. If it gets halfway up the lid, it's gone. And if this thing's gone, I don't even know what I'll do. I'd have to move because I would not live in the same place, in the same room with this creature. So they're very fast, and that's why I said I know the difference. You'll see immediately the difference between being asleep and awake. When they're awake, they move, and his head will move in every direction, like almost like a giant antenna. His head will move in every direction. He's going to try to use that to smell out the air and figure out what is going on. All right, I'm going to get this lid ready first. I'm going to wake him up. And then we're going to run. Okay, we're using a stick. It's a stick coming into the picture. Hi, buddy. Oh, here he goes. Oh, he's moving. Oh boy. Uh, he's doing? He's sniffing around. You see, he's sniffing around like a little puppy. He's like a little many-legged puppy. He's sniffing around. He's like, "What touched me? I know you're here. You're hiding somewhere underground, aren't you? What are you? Come on out." Oh, you see the antenna moving around? Right, that's his face. And look at the pincers. If you can see underneath his chin, you might be able to see the pincers. Right, so he's now sniffing around and moving, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. They're actually amazing hunters. You got to give it up to them in that sense because they're so good at what they do. Do you guys? I don't have any food. I'd say you could feed him, but unfortunately, don't have anyone to. He's going right back to sleep. Look at that. He's kicking right back to sleep. I love it. Watch. Let's prod him again one more time because I can't help but do that. Nice clean. He's cleaning his antenna. Do you see? He's cleaning his antenna. Isn't that cool? All right, one last prod. Hi. Uh, hello. 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 Okay. He's not waking up. I'm not gonna push it because let me see. I am gonna push it. Oh, okay. I pushed it. Oh lordy, he's gone. He's off. I'm sorry. I don't know. Let me see if I can get a better shot in there. Oh, that was creepy. Yeah, that was really creepy. Hi, buddy. Oh yeah, he's scary, right? Okay. Yeah, he's awake now. He's sniffing. He's looking around. He's cranky. He's like, "Who woke me?" Fee, fi, fo, fum. Is he creepy or what? Oh my god, he's moving. Okay, I'm closing. Okay, all right, yay, yay, we did it. Everyone clap, you survived. Okay, that was scary. Not gonna lie, that was a little scary, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing that again. I love you, Koak, and that's why I did that for you. But I don't think I'm gonna do that one again. Yeah, no. Yeah, John, I agree. We should have closed that one. And Luan, thank you for laughing at me, Don. Yeah, it's kind of scary. Katie, I agree. That's pretty much my face during the whole time. Um, Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I, of course, always enjoy my time with you and showing you animals. And thank you so much, Poak, for having me back. I really appreciate it. And I'm really happy to see you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, amazing, amazing summer. Stay cool out there. Stay very, very cool because it's been hot lately. And have a great summer, guys. Thank you so very much. Take care, everybody.